What up and welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone is in good spirits and doing well. I'm back with another recipe. You know what's going on. We're making chicken nachos. So let's get into it. So first off, I'm using diced up chicken breast. I recently found at Walmart they have 2-pound bags of diced chicken breast. And I just said recently twice, but I like it. I use them a lot, especially when I can't find chicken breasts, because usually it's really hit or miss. Because sometimes I can't find chicken breasts, and I could just find a whole bunch of chicken thighs, and that's not what I'm looking for. Or when I'm looking for chicken thighs or chicken wings, all I can find is chicken breast. So you got to use what you can, and this is convenient, and I love that. So I went ahead and just threw them in the pot. Okay, you saw how I was throwing them in there because I didn't want to burn myself, because I did have the heat a little high, like a medium high. But since they frozen, they get to cooking real fast, and since they was already diced up, they're gonna cook even faster. So at this point, I'm just kind of separating them. This is just me checking on them because it's gonna be a lot of covering. You're gonna constantly be covering this chicken just to make sure that it cooks all the way through. Okay. So even after seasoning, after I throw them in the pot, I cover them. After I season them, I'm going to cover them. Okay? It's a lot of covering, because covering is just going to trap all that heat inside, and it's going to cook all the way through, and that's what we need. We need tenderness, baby. Tenderness. Okay? So I added a little bit of yellow onion. Okay? Because that's my favorite. I like the Vidalia onion too, but yellow onion. I might get into experimenting more with red onion too, but it's red onion just too strong. I don't know. Okay, so let's get into the seasoning. So I used the Fiesta blend ranch seasoning. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorites. That's my favorite out of the ranch, like of the ranch seasonings, basically. And then I'm gonna go in with the Shawhan Farms chicken rub. Everything will be at the bottom. All the ingredients and everything will be at the bottom. But I just like to walk you through it and talk you through it, And I love this Shawhan Farms, because I just had to show you this. It is low sodium. I love a good low sodium seasoning. You gotta have that. And then I added some paprika, because you need that color. Added the paprika for that color, and some garlic powder for flavor. Everything is for flavor and for the colors, because the mixture of all these seasonings together is phenomenal. Okay. So we just gonna mix it up and mix it well, because everything should be well combined. Okay. And like I said, after I season, I'm gonna be covering it again. Okay. I like to use the Fiesta Ranch seasoning, usually for if I'm doing if it's Taco Tuesday, basically. If it's like a Mexican style dish, or what I consider to be a Taco Tuesday style dish, I usually like to use Fiesta blend seasoning, because it just smells so good, and it literally smells like nachos. I kid you not. As soon as you put that on you can use it on ground beef, you can use it on whatever you want to use it on. It literally smells like nachos. I just feel like how it smells, it should be used for Taco Tuesday. Because everybody think just because it's Taco Tuesday, you got to make tacos. Taco Tuesday don't just mean tacos. When I say Taco Tuesday, I literally like to do Mexican style dishes or something in the family. So I like to do nachos. I like to do quesadilla. I like to do crunch wraps. I like to do, the list goes on. But I'm going to get more into trying more Mexican dishes in general, because I just need to get into that. I need to, I love Mexican food, so I got to experiment with more Mexican style things and dishes and stuff like that I've never tried, So as the chicken was cooking, you see the color changing. That means that it's been covered. It's been covered, and the chicken has started to cook all the way through. The seasonings have became one. I added a little bit of water just because since it was frozen chicken and the water starts to evaporate and it dry thing out, I just added a little bit of water just to keep that moisture in. And I'm gonna be covering it again. Basically, right now we just gonna keep it's covering and just cooking the chicken until it's done. Okay, everybody got their method to their madness, you know what I'm saying? But that's just what I'm doing here. And separating pieces, if it's some chunks that's a little too big, I just kind of separate them too. But other than that, nothing major going on right here. Just nothing major. Okay. And I hit it with a little bit of W sauce, just a little bit of the W sauce, because it adds a lot of flavor. But it is real salty, so that's why I say I hit it with it. You don't want to add too much, because it is very salty. And that Fiesta Ranch seasoning already salty in itself, so you don't need too much salt. You don't. You really don't. So I'm just going to cover this and just keep cooking until it's done. And once it was done, you got to clean You know, they sent me the scrub brush. I got sent the scrub brush. It's called a scrub bar. And it has 4 different sides. I'm going to be using the medium duty side. Yes, for this pot. They have all different sides, all different duties. It's 3 different duties, and then you got the sponge side, which, you know what to use the sponge side for. You know, for when you already got all the clumpy stuff off. That's when you just kind of just cleaning it. And then, look at that. It's really therapeutic watching stuff like this. You know, I like watching cleaning videos myself. So seeing myself doing it, just, you know, I love that. And it's crazy because every time I do this, I have gloves. I put my washing gloves right in my face and I still don't use them. I always just keep using my hands. Okay, I don't never use them gloves that I put directly in my face. So I would see them. So I would use them, and I just don't do it. But, you know, it's all right. Thank you for the scrub bar. I love that. Go and get y'all one all over Amazon. Okay. All over Amazon. Shawhan Farms and scrub bar. Okay. Get it. So we're going to get into our nachos. So I went ahead and added my tortillas. Use your favorite. I like to use usually the tortillas. They got like a hint of lime. You know, I love that little hint of lime. I love a little lime. So then I'm going to go in with some white queso cheese. Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, this was just like a Monterey queso cheese. It was a Monterey queso cheese that I got from Walmart. I just added that on there because I love some queso. Okay. I made some myself before. I don't know why I didn't just make some, but you know, sometimes this is an easy thing. Easy meal, easy thing. Okay. So I added some cheese, not all the cheese. I just added a little bit of cheese just so it can melt on the chip. And then I added we started to add that chicken. Okay, that chicken that we just cooked, we're gonna start adding that on the top. Gonna spread that all over this thing. Okay, just spread it. I like to make it look nice, so that's why it's always like it's a thing for me. It's always a little time consuming, and because I want it literally spread all over, and I want it to look visually appetizing. You know. So then I threw it in the microwave for like 15 seconds, maybe 10, just to kind of heat it up a little bit more. And then I started adding everything else. So then I went in with the lettuce, you know, because you need that lettuce. I like to use the other, like the artisan lettuce too, but I didn't have that. I didn't have it on hand. I use what you can when you got it. Whatever you got on hand, that's what you kind of can use. Then I went ahead with the tomatoes, okay, because you need your tomatoes. You need those. You need those in there. I feel like you gotta have that on some nachos, unless you just don't like tomatoes. But it's a lot of things I've recently just started to like, so I can't really blame any picky eaters because it took me up until like 2014, 15 to even finally like onions and peppers. So I can't blame anybody. I don't blame you. If you haven't jumped on the vegetable train yet, you'll get there. Just give it some time, okay? So then I went in with my sour cream. I usually like to do it the ghetto way, and I put my sour cream in a Ziploc bag, and I cut the end, and I make it like a cake thing, and like just kind of do it like that. It work out sometimes, but it didn't really work out as good as I wanted to this time. But it was still good, you know. As long as you got the sour cream, as long as it's there, that's what matters. Went in with the queso cheese. I went with more queso cheese. Okay. More queso, I just did everything else. So like the sour cream, I went in with more queso, I added some tomatoes, and I added a little bit of jalapeno, diced up jalapenos, because that's what babe likes. I don't, that I don't do too much with the spice. All I need to do was some banana peppers, nothing major. And this was it. Quick nachos. And make sure you follow my Insta. 10K, we on the way,